Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Yogi Plant. Tonight, we have a special sequence planned focusing on using the wall as a prop. And we also are going to be wanting our blocks. So a block, if you have a block, that would be great. Something to lift your bum up and maybe prop up your hands in some of the standing poses, and a strap or a long stretchy sock. And then last but not least, I have an extra yoga mat here. You can use a blanket or a little pillow or something, because we're going to be ending with legs up the wall tonight. So a little bit of a different swing tonight. Looking forward to it. So I guess I'll put this here. Sometimes it's hard to know where to put your props all the time. So tonight we're going to start in Savasana. So I invite you to come into a seated position, opting to sit on your block to lift those hips up a little bit. That encourages some good posture. And then we're going to start by coming into our yoga breath here. So you'll be inhaling through your nose, pausing at the top, and then exhaling through your nose. And pausing at the bottom. So I invite you to continue along in your own rhythm. Your inhales and your exhales are both the same count. And then the pauses at the top and the bottom can usually be about half the time. Some people like to do everything the same time, so you could inhale, pause for the same amount of time, and exhale for the same amount of time, and then pause again. So as we continue in our yoga breath, we're sitting up tall, letting those shoulders drop down our backs, allowing our tongue to move away from the backs of our teeth if that's where we're finding it. And as you're exhaling, I invite you to just draw in your navel a little bit. Creating that Uddiyana Bandha block. And that helps to keep your core strong throughout your yoga times. On your next inhale, I invite you to raise your arms into the air, bringing your hands together in prayer, and then exhaling them back down the same way they came up. We're going to do that a couple more times, inhaling up, pausing, and exhaling down. Inhaling up, pausing, and exhaling down. One more time, raising our arms up. And this time as we exhale, we're just going to point our fingers to the right hand side, looking up to our left if that feels okay. Maintaining our weight balance between our sit bones here. I'm just breathing up that left hand side. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, pointing the other direction now. Once again, your drishti going up towards the ceiling. And this time, bringing that energy up along your right hand side. Inhaling to center. And this time, as you exhale, bring your hands in prayer down to the center, in front of your heart chakra, and then releasing down. Now, I invite you to put your hands just on the outside of your thighs, and as we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're just going to tilt our head to the right. Continuing your yoga breath here. Inhaling your head to center and exhaling to the left. Inhaling to center and exhaling here. Remembering to draw your navel in. And then on an inhale, we're going to look up. Kind of allowing our head to drop back as much as is comfortable. Breathing into our throat chakra here. And on an exhale, we're going to come to center and then go all the way down, bringing our chins to our chest. And maintaining our yoga breath here. Breathing into those muscles along the back of our neck. And on your next inhale, we'll look up. Exhaling back to Savasana. We're going to move into a simple twist. So we're going to inhale, drawing our navel in. Taking our left hand to the right knee, right hand behind us. And as we exhale, turning through the waist to our right hand side. And drawing our navel in as we're turning. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we'll release to center. Same thing on the other side. We're going to inhale, bring our navel in. Right hand to the left hand behind you. Exhaling, twisting through your navel to the left. One more breath. On an exhale, we're going to meet center. Okay, we're going to do some work on our feet tonight. Everybody's favorite, I know, but it's really, really good for you. So we're going to start, I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can see me. We'll start by tucking our toes under. So depending on how this feels for you, you might be here and you might be anywhere along the lines here. And if it feels okay, you might be sitting up on your toes. So if you are off your hands, you can inhale your left hand up, putting your palm away from you, taking your tops of your fingers, and as you exhale, pulling your fingers towards you. We're going to do a bit of a forearm wrist stretch here. Remembering to breathe. And on an exhale, we're going to let go of our fingers and tilt our palms now towards us. And then using our left hand to just put a little pressure on our fingers to push them in towards us now. So your palm is facing you. Exhaling, releasing. We're going to release our feet, kick them out a little bit. And then we're going to sit back this time with the tops of our feet on our mat. So same thing, wherever you're comfortable. If you're sitting up on your feet, we're going to do our forearm stretch with the left hand now. So we're going to put our left hand out, inhaling, palm away from us. And as we exhale, we're just going to bring our fingers in towards us. One more breath here. And we're going to release. And as we exhale, we're going to tilt our palm towards us now. Fingers pointing down. And just pushing our fingers in towards us now. It might feel better if you push on the back of your hand here. You can try that too. Gives you a little more stability. And on an exhale, we'll release our hands down, kicking our feet out. I'm going to turn back to face you guys now. So we're going to come up to our knees. And yes, we're going to do gate. But before we do gate, we're going to do something called a grounded side plank. So I guess I'll put that there now. So we're going to take our left foot and put it out just like we do with gate. And then we're going to take our right hand and put it down to our right hand side here. So once you're in that position, we're going to inhale our left hand up. And if you want, you could be looking straight ahead. Or if it feels okay, just look up to your left thumb. And see how your arm is stacked over top of your shoulder. So your body's, like your arms are in alignment, kind of like when you're in triangle. Reaching up towards the ceiling with your left hand. We're going to inhale up. And then we're going to move into gate. So you're going to take your left hand and run it down your left leg. Exhaling down on your next inhale. We're going to lift our right hand up now, palm facing the left. And as we exhale, we're going to reach with our right hand towards the left. Once again, your drishti could be up towards the ceiling or straight ahead. If you like, you can take your bottom hand there and just put it behind your back, if that's more comfortable. Breathing that energy up along your right hand side now. And on an inhale, we'll come center, exhaling our legs back, our knees back. We're going to take our right leg out now. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we'll go into grounded plank first. So we're going to put our hand down. Our fingers are facing straight towards the top of our mat. And on an inhale, we're going to raise our right hand up. If it feels okay, you can look up. If it's not feeling so great, you can look straight ahead. Nice strong core here. Drawing that navel in. Remembering that yoga breath. And on an inhale, we'll come on up. Exhaling out of the pose. We're going to take our right hand, draw it along the right hand side. We're going to inhale our left hand up, palm facing the front. And on an exhale, we'll reach to the right. Once again, your drishti up towards the ceiling or straight ahead. That bottom hand can come out behind you if you like. Breathing through that left hand side. And on an exhale, we'll come out of the pose, bring your knees back together. We're going to move into cat-cow. So we're going to find a tabletop position where our shoulders are underneath, our wrists are underneath our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips. So we're going to take a moment here and recognize tabletop, looking straight ahead or looking down, like up ahead but down. If that makes any sense. So you're not looking straight, but you're kind of looking forward like that, drishti. And then on the inhale, we're going to inhale forehead and tailbone up to the ceiling. Arching our spine. And then on an exhale, we're going to do the opposite, arch our spine the other way. So forehead and tailbone are facing the mat. Inhaling, forehead, tailbone to the ceiling. I guess you could call it dipping your spine. Your spine makes kind of a dipping shape. And then on an exhale, bringing your abdominal muscles in. And curving your spine the other way. Do this a couple more times on your own, following your own breath. me do it one more time here. I know we're not supposed to talk favorites, but I love cat-cow. All right, coming back to neutral tabletop here. On an exhale, we're going to flip our toes and bring our bums towards the ceiling into our first downward dog. Checking that our fingers are spread open. You might want to pedal your feet here or your knees. Or maybe go back side to side as you're warming up. Pushing our tailbone up towards the ceiling. And your drishti is out towards your navel or your upper thighs. And on an exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling, big step forward to the front of the mat, bringing both feet up. Exhaling down, forward fold. Remembering to bend those knees so that you can touch the floor. Inhaling up halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. Hands can be on your knees, your shins, your upper thighs. Exhaling back down, forward fold. And then inhaling up all the way, bring your hands together in prayer, facing ceiling, into salute. Exhaling down through samastiti, down to Tadasana. Great, good job, guys. We're going to move into Sun Salutation A. So taking a moment here in Tadasana, finding that grounding through our feet, engaging our legs, drawing in our lower abdomen, putting that energy up from the floor, up all the way, opening up our collarbone, dropping those shoulders down your back. And on an inhale, we're going to come into salute, reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhaling our hands down to the floor, and forward fold. Inhaling up halfway, letting those shoulders drop down your back. Exhaling back down. Taking your right foot back, coming into a low lunge. You could even drop your knee down here. Drishti looking up ahead. Lifting your knee, exhaling your left foot to meet your right. Coming into your version of plank here. Exhaling, lowering down through Chaturanga Dandasana, all the way to the floor. Inhaling up to Baby Cobra. Lifting your chest off the floor. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through tabletop. And as you exhale, coming into downward dog. Pushing through your palms of your hands, the upper part of the palms, that fleshy part underneath your thumb. Checking that your heels are hiding behind your feet. And on an exhale, we're going to bend our knees. Inhaling, big step forward. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling back down. We're going to inhale all the way up. In salute. And then exhaling down through samastiti into back to Tadasana. Taking a moment here to ground ourselves in Tadasana. On your next exhale, we're going to take our right foot and just step it back. Probably maybe 2 feet apart, 3 feet apart. Your back toes are facing the top right-hand corner of your mat. We're preparing, getting into a pyramid here. So we're going to inhale our, we're going to grab our elbows, inhaling, opening up our collarbone to the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to fold at the waist, keeping an eye on that big toe. Keeping that weight balance between your two feet here. On an exhale, we're going to drop our hands down towards the floor. Inhaling, looking up. And then as we exhale, folding down. Once again, keeping your eye on your big toe if that feels okay. If you have your block handy, you can grab it, put it underneath your right hand. And we're going to move into revolved triangle. So we're going to ground through our right hand. And on an inhale, we're going to raise our left hand into the air. Continuing to breathe here. Exhaling, left hand back down. Inhaling up halfway. Hands to hips. And inhaling all the way. Stepping your right foot forward. Coming back to Tadasana. So we'll put our block on the other side now. And on an inhale, we're going to take our left foot and step it back. So same thing on the other side. So your back foot is a few feet from your front foot, and your toes are facing the top left-hand corner. We're going to inhale this time, grabbing our elbows on the other side. Opening up that collarbone to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we're going to fold that hinge at the waist. Keeping an eye on your big toe there. And on your next exhale, just dropping your hands down to the floor. On an inhale, looking up. And on an exhale, folding down. All right, so you're going to grab your block now, put it on your left hand, or your hands can stay on the floor. On an inhale, we're going to raise our right hand to the sky. Attempting to get that thumb kind of in line with your lips. And drishti is looking up towards the ceiling or straight ahead. And on the exhale, we're going to release. Inhaling our hands to our hips halfway. Exhaling here. And then inhaling our both feet to the front of the mat. Coming back, finding ourselves in Tadasana. I'm going to pull my pants up here. All right, your next inhale, we're going to take a big step back this time. So now your feet are quite wide apart and your back foot is open quite wide. So wide enough so that your pelvis or your hips are opening up to the long side of your mat. We're going to inhale our arms up to a T, and as we exhale, we're going to bend our left knee. It's coming into warrior two. So your left knee is going to bend enough so that it's stacked over top of your left foot. And on an exhale, we're going to be looking over our front hand here. So your drishti is gazing over top of your fingers. Maintaining that balance between the weight balance between your feet. Maybe drawing in your lower abdomen a little bit. And on an exhale, we're going to take our left elbow, place it on our front knee here. And then we're going to take our right hand, scoop it down and up. Coming into a extended wide angle. And here you're turning your torso up so that you can look up towards the ceiling. Exhaling your hand back down, swooping your back down. Inhaling, straightening up that front knee, keeping your back foot where it is. We're going to inhale our arms up to a T. And as we exhale, we're going to take our left hand, bring it down, maybe grab your block here, which is probably strategically placed. And we're coming into triangle. So right hand's in the air. Nice alignment between your top thumb, your lips, and your bottom hand. Keeping that core nice and strong. On exhale, we'll release. Inhaling, coming up. Grabbing your block. We're going to pivot our feet so that our feet are parallel with the front and the back. We're going to put our block down over here. On the other side. Inhaling our hands up. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands down towards the ground, kind of in front of us, giving our knees a little micro bend. Inhaling, looking up. And then as we exhale, we're going to walk our hands back between our feet. You might even want to expand your the width of your stance here. Elbows are facing the back of the room. Keeping those knees a little micro bend. Engage your leg muscles here. And on an inhale, we'll come up halfway. Exhaling here. And then inhaling, using those abdominal muscles to raise yourself up. I'm going to scooch my feet in just a little bit. Now we're going to turn towards the back of our mat. So your right foot is, your toes are going to face the back of your mat. Your left foot, once again, is open enough, wide enough so that your pelvis is facing the long side of your mat. We inhale our arms up. And on an exhale, we're going to bend our right knee. Oh, I got to lengthen the stance again. So that your knee is stacked over top of your ankle. So once again, you're looking, your drishti is over top of your right hand. And when in Warrior Two, it's always good to just take a check, take a quick pick at your front knee, and just make sure you can see just a slice of your inner foot there. Then you know your knee's not tracking inwards too much. On an exhale, you can take your right elbow, place it on your front or your right knee, swoop your left hand down, inhaling it up. Reaching with your left hand towards the back of the room now. And turning your torso, your gaze towards the ceiling. Really breathing through that energy along the left-hand side of your body. Exhaling your hand down, inhaling, coming up, straightening that front foot, inhaling. You can shorten your stance a little bit here if you feel like you're going to fall over. Inhaling your arms up. And this time we're exhaling into triangle. Right hand comes down, strategically find your block. And you can turn your drishti up towards the ceiling. Exhaling your right hand down. Inhaling, coming up. Pivoting our feet one more time. So now your feet are parallel with the front and the back of the mat. We're going to inhale our arms up. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge at the waist and grab our big toes. So you'll be bending your knees here. Inhaling, looking up. And on an exhale, you're going to fold forwards. Your drishti gazing behind you. Maybe straightening your legs a little bit so that they're just in a micro bend now. Drawing in your abdominal area or your navel. keeping that core strong. And on your next inhale, bringing your hands to your hips, coming up halfway. Exhaling here. And on an inhale, using your abdominal muscles to raise yourself up. Exhaling to the top of your mat. Good job, everybody. All right, so now we're going to shift towards the wall here. So I invite you to take your mat and just turn it so that you have your mat is the top of your mat facing the wall here. I have 2 mats, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we're all in the same boat here. All right. So we're going to lean against the wall. And the first thing we're going to do is come into a wall chair. So your feet are going to be about hip distance apart. And then we're going to bring them out away from the wall. So as you slide down the wall, you're walking forward a little bit so that it looks like you're sitting on a chair, but really you're sitting against the wall. My whole back part is pushing against the wall right now. You're going to find this uses your core. Sorry, my legs are slipping here a little bit. Mat on mat sometimes isn't the best thing. So you can bring your hands in prayer here. You can also bring them into eagle. So just put one underneath the other. And then we're going to switch out. Nice strong legs here, nice strong core. And then exhaling, releasing. Sorry, my legs are slipping. My mats are pushing my carpet out a little bit here. Whew. Guess it works better when you have something sticky on the floor, like your mat. Okay, so we're back up here. We're going to grab our blocks. We're going to do a new pose for our group. It's called a standing half moon. We're going to use the wall for support. So what you're going to want to do is stand with your right hip kind of pushing against the wall eventually. So that's how it feels. Then you can come away from the wall, take your block, and your feet are facing towards the back of your mat. And your block can be vertical like so. So if you guys want, you can watch me first, and then you can come into the pose. So you're going to inhale your left leg up. And then inhale your left arm. So right now, my hip is the only thing touching my wall. And then your choice is to either look down at your block, look straight ahead, or if you want, you can play with looking up at the ceiling if that feels okay. So you want to keep your foot flexed here. Nice active foot. One more breath here. And as you exhale to come out of it, it's just the opposite. So you bring your arm down, bring your foot down. Coming down kind of like this. And then inhaling up. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So once again, we're facing now the front of the mat. So my left hip is against the wall. My left arm's going down onto my block. Feel free to watch me first if you like, or just follow along. On an inhale, I'm going to raise my right foot into the air. Now my hip is touching the wall. And then I'm going to lift my right arm into the air. Notice how my torso turns now. So my torso is turned away from the wall. And once again, your drishti can be at your hand, straight ahead. or you can be gazing up towards the ceiling. That leg that's in the air active. And turning your torso away from the wall. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we'll release, bring our hand and our feet down. Inhaling up halfway, hands to hips. And then inhaling all the way. Yeah. All right. So we got a couple more poses here. Take a quick peek at the time. We're good, we're good. All right. So now you might remember this from last season. We're going to stand facing the wall and we're going to put our hands on the wall. And we're going to walk our feet back and hands back until we're forming a square between the wall, the floor, our legs, and our hands. I don't know what this looks like to you guys. Probably all you can see is my butt right now. But this is like it basically looks like this. I'll show you sideways. Like that. So you're pushing into the wall. Now we're going to bring our feet in together, fairly close together. And we're going to come into a modified warrior 3. So your hands are still far apart and they're pushing a little bit into the wall. We're going to inhale, engaging our core here. And we're going to just micro bend our left knee, and then we're going to lift our right foot into the air. One thing you want to work on with warrior 3 is keeping your hips level so that one hip isn't way higher than the other. Kind of want them on the same level, parallel with your mat. Your drishti right now is probably looking down at the mat. Exhale, we can release. Okay, we're going to do one more here. We're going to inhale, left foot into the air, giving your right knee a little micro bend. Keeping that core strong, drawing in that navel. Maintaining that yoga breath. One more breath here. And on the exhale, we'll release down. Maybe walking in a little bit, walking our hands up. And turning around so now that our bum is facing the wall. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I feel a little bit sweaty all this. Okay, so I grab my block and I'm going to be putting it underneath, like between my feet here. And we're going to go into Savasana or garland pose. So you're going to take your feet and point your toes in opposite directions here. And your feet are a little wider than hip distance apart. We're going to inhale our arms up, kind of like a skinny star here. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands into prayer and slowly slide down the wall, like my bum's touching the wall, until you hit your block. So my elbows are pushing against my knees, and that helps me maintain my pose here. I'm drawing in my navel here. Maybe smiling if that feels good for you today. If you find that your shoulders are starting to bunch up, just draw them down your back. One more breath here. And on an exhale, we're just going to slowly release our hands to the floor, walking ourselves up a little bit until we're on our knees. Take my block out of here. So we're going to walk up a little bit. So we're in tabletop. We're going to inhale. And on an exhale, we're just going to release back into child's pose. So our forehead's on the mat. Our tummy's nestled between our thighs. If you like, you can push into your fingertips a bit here that help give your shoulders a nice stretch. And also just let your arms go on either side of your legs, coming into a more restful child's pose. Couple more breaths here, finding grounding. Becoming aware of our third eye chakra. And on your next inhale, I invite you to sit up. We're going to move closer to the wall now, come into our recline poses. So this is the part where you're going to want to grab your blanket or your extra mat, put it up against the wall. Also grab your strap and have it handy. We're going to sit on our bums, put our knees up alongside the wall here, and then we're going to maneuver our legs up the wall as we lay down. Woo. All right, so you might not be able to see me right now, and that's okay. I can definitely talk you through the next couple poses here. So you might remember head to knee pose. So basically, you're going to take your strap and you're going to put it under, like around your right foot, and then stretch your right foot up. And as you exhale, you're just going to bring your right foot towards your face. Obviously, you're not going to be touching your face with your right foot. You're only going to bring it as far as is comfortable, keeping your shoulders on the floor so that your leg is doing all the work. And on an exhale, you'll release your foot back to the wall. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take our strap and just scoop it around the left foot now. So once again, keeping your shoulders on the floor, we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to draw our foot towards our forehead. Obviously only going as far as is comfortable. And you'll find the longer you hold this pose, the further your foot's going to go towards your face. And on an exhale, we'll release here. Okay, and now we're going to just take the strap and loop it around both feet. So you're going to bend your knees so you can get the strap around your feet. Raise your feet to the ceiling. So your soles are facing the ceiling, inhaling. And on an exhale, we're going to draw both feet now towards our forehead. So this is like a reclined forward fold. Once again, your shoulders are on the floor. And then you'll be maneuvering the strap a little bit so you can comfortably bring your feet a little lower towards your forehead. And on an exhale, we're just going to release slowly, take our strap away from our feet, and let our feet come now towards the wall. We're going to move into bound eagle pose on the wall. So you guys might remember this. So you're basically just going to put your feet, the soles of your feet together, and start bending your knees and allowing your feet to slide down the wall to whatever height you're comfortable with. Your hands can be on your tummy. You can have one hand on your heart if that feels good. Some people like to put their arms in cactus. So whatever you're feeling is good for you tonight is perfect. You can start to let your yoga breath go here. Maybe sighing it out. Letting your tongue fall away from the backs of your teeth. Letting your jaw relax. I invite you to stay in bound angle if that's comfortable for you, or you can move your feet back up the wall to take Savasana up the wall. I will let you know when we're halfway done. For those of you who would like to come out of the wall and into corpse pose Shavasana on the floor. This is your time. Use it as you will. So we're about halfway through. I invite you to stay where you are, or if you'd like, move yourself safely, retracing your steps back, walking your legs down the wall, and moving into corpse pose. I invite you to start moving your toes, moving your fingers, bringing your awareness back to your breath. Stretching how you need to stretch today. You might want to bring your knees into your chest, giving yourself a hug, and just staying here for a moment. If you're still on the wall, I'm going to start to maneuver yourself so that you can join us. And we're all going to meet lying on our sides, resting our heads on our arm. Maybe opening up our eyes, looking around our room. And then when you're feeling okay, slowly bringing yourself up to sitting. So thank you guys for coming tonight. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Namaste.